how's it going?
Welcome to episode number. Anybody?
27.
70. The big
79.
70 of the Sometimes Something podcast. Where we
Damn. What do we
talk
do for
about
our
whatever we
100th
want.
episode? That's going to be a milestone. I thought 69 was a milestone. Nah, it's 100 just coming
50.
pretty quick.
Yeah. Maybe we'll just do the same thing we did for 50. Just have video of every podcast episode so far at once.
That'll be beautiful.
Maybe. We're not
So,
joined by
how's everyone's weeks going? Lots
good.
of stuff going on.
pretty good.
Yeah.
We're getting a break from Calvin. That's nice. It's nice for our listeners. You don't have to listen to him for a week.
Just rambling
That's
over
good.
all of us.
No.
He set his building on fire by accident, so yeah,
For the fifth
Setting
setting
time.
that up.
Yeah.
He set it on fire and he also flooded it. So
Yeah, it floods,
Yeah,
so he
it's-
catches on fire, but then it just goes back and forth. Uses the
He
fire
did the flooding to put out the fire.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
then he
exactly.
resets the fire to dry out the water.
yeah.
It's a never-ending cycle.
Never ending.
Anyways.
We got some shots here, don't we?
Let's dive
We
into
do.
some shots.
We got some beautiful shots.
All right, I'll save Colton's for later because I don't know what he's doing. But I brought
I know what he's doing.
some from John Wick because I just wanted to talk about how they did this through all four movies. I don't think I've seen the fourth one, but when they
Wait, really? Oh. Okay.
yeah. I feel like movies have every once. I feel like there was like a phase where like movies went through, especially like the early 2000s, like action movies, where like they would grade movies to try and look like this colorful, where like they'd be like, oh, we want this to be like a yellow scene or like a cool like dramatic red scene. It would just be like kind of a grade over top. Whereas like you can really tell the difference between like that or like when they use like actual on-set lighting to like have the lighting that they want.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously there's still grading on top of this, but there's still like actual like planning involved that went into, having like the contrasting, lights like red and blue, the green and yellow, green and purples. Just very nice lighting throughout most of these movies.
Yeah.
There's those.
It's pretty.
And then when I was looking for those, I found this muzzle flash shot, which in the thumbnail stood out to me that it's, we don't like to usually shit on VFX, but this one was just kind of
Wait,
glaringly,
this is
glaringly
yes, the
Yeah.
not
it's-
good. And usually if I saw this like on Twitter or something or anywhere else except for I got this straight off of Shot Deck. So I'm like, well, this is probably what's actually in the movie, and there's you can clearly see that
Wow.
the blood element maybe it's right, but before the muzzle flash, and then or something, or like they did the muzzle flash, but then they put the blood on top, but you can clearly see like the black levels and the difference between that and his head.
See,
Right,
the edge
here.
work is still
Yeah.
not great.
And then even on him you can clearly see the paint strokes or like the roto shape of like the interactive light, especially on his jacket. Or even
Oh,
his
that's
jacket
such a
is like
pet
supposed to be
peeve of
muzzle
mine.
flash?
That's
Oh,
when people
geez.
do that.
Oh,
It's
boy.
not-
Yeah, they just like stroke his. Oh, we need a Even like on his bicep, you can see like a
yeah
generic shape.
you really it's annoying, but to do it right you really have to like look like, all right, light sources there, like maybe he gets like on his pecs, like maybe like the edges of like things are direct, like even like especially his coat feels so off, not only
Yeah.
because it's like just a shape, it's not like feathered off
It's
even
black.
nicely. It's like that jacket is like almost looks like it's flared out towards us, but somehow it's not on the rim but like tucked in behind.
Yeah.
And even it
What's
goes
this like orange flare over his forehead?
I think that's there's some blood mist coming out of the head in his thing
That's supposed
mixed
to be
with the
blood.
flare. I think so. But it does kind of it looks like one of those muzzle flashes that have like the different like star shapes kind of coming out of it, but out of his head, which is also
Now, what do you think? What do you think the odds are that in DI, probably not because of those great shows, that in DI they like went to add like a big layer or something, and they just only had, they didn't know what they were doing.
it's
You know what I mean?
possible. It's very possible.
But those paint strokes kind of say otherwise, I think. But
yeah,
I could see them being like, oh, let's lift the head up because we're contrasting the shot like this. With the,
yeah, just
then
for
they
a
just
flash frame kind of
don't-
thing. Yeah,
They ignored everything else. Yeah.
but yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. That was it.
It's a shame too for these kind of movies, right? Like I would
Yeah,
feel
it's
like
like
you'd want to go all out with making sure, even as like a director or like VFX, you just being like,
yeah,
hey, let's make these muzzle flashes extra nice because that's the point of this movie.
yeah. I
No,
would bet if you went through these movies, I'm sure there'd be. I mean, obviously, this is the first movie, so like, I bet we could find more in the movie that are kind of the same quality as this. But I bet for the next ones, they're probably get nicer because I'm sure this movie was. I don't know what the budget was, but I'm sure they only got higher and higher. Where this is probably like maybe a lower budget, just action kill 'em movie, and then it did really well. So like, oh shit, we should actually put some money into this.
yeah, no, I get you. I guess in my mind, it's just like when it's the main action,
That is
that's where
true.
the focus is.
That is
Like,
true.
um, but yeah,
Yeah,
it's cool.
that's that.
I
All
will
right,
play
Colton.
devil's
Oh yeah,
advocate just a little bit.
yeah.
This is the first time, and as much as we're nitpicking this, that I've ever noticed this because I remember watching this, especially this sequence or the scene, so many times because I love the audio that kicks in, like the music for the scene,
Mm.
and yeah, it's just kind of it goes to show it's like even though this is totally incorrect and needs to be improved a bunch, it's only muzzle flashes are only 1 to 2 frames at minimum or at
Yeah,
most,
yeah. You're not
and
wrong.
you're just kind of like ah. If
This
anything,
is
and it's also
nothing you'd
yeah.
watch. This is nothing you'd realize when you're watching the movie.
Oh yeah, 100%. And yeah, it's because there's a bunch of shots. I think they like shoots his chest a bunch of times and shoots his head. So I think you're just kind of like, oh shit, this is really intense and cool.
Yeah,
So yeah, so whatever. It is sold the effect, but yeah, when you're nitpicking it, it looks not great.
yeah. All right, Colton. What'd you bring us?
So we got the. We got some fuzzy friends. We got some. We got some. We got some.
I haven't seen Surfs Up. It's so long.
That's not Surfs Up. That's
forget.
Happy Feet, and I totally
that's
forgot to
Happy
add
Feet.
Surfs Up.
Oh shoot!
I was trying to think of all more
Oh,
penguins.
that's true. What's
How dare you mix up George Miller's masterpiece, Curry?
yeah.
We got
Surf's Up.
the penguin.
There's so many
we got-
penguins. So many penguin movies.
Wait, we got the penguin. Hey, we got the penguin. Okay, so we got a bunch of different penguins.
Uh-huh.
And I've been watching The Penguin lately. It's been a really great show. There's not much to showcase of it, but I have a point to all these beautiful, different takes on the penguin character, the archetype, or whatever, the mob king or the kingpin.
Right.
And it got me thinking a little bit, especially this motherfucker. Oh, these guys are this bad boy. Is that for what's been done of the Batman mythology and like all the movies and all the styles and all the characters, can you think of anything else that you can kind of really do with said characters? I'm trying to think of like what you could do. Or, okay, like for example, the Batman is like what's his name, Mr. Reeves,
Matt
Reeves, yeah. His is more of like basically Seven, the kind of like a crime thriller detective noir, whereas the Dark Knight is more of like, how can I describe it? They have different styles and takes, even though they're both grounded. Then you have this Tim Burton character, which is more fantastical and cartoony. But then I'm thinking, where else could you go? Could you put these characters on a line? Whereas this penguin is more of like a mafia Tony Soprano type character. I'm just trying to think. And you could either go super cartoony, super realistic and kind of set in the grounded world, or you go into like a more, I don't know, another cartoony aspect, but like a dark aesthetic to it. Just trying to think of like if you were given the keys basically to making a Batman, not necessarily show or movie, how would you try to art direct the characters or the world itself? Because I just kind of like had this thought recently, or like, how could you?
Yeah, I think it would come down to just like pretty much like the things you're saying. Like, is it more of like a fun like superhero movie, or is it like a more grounded, realistic one? And then it's not like you're locked into the same characters just based on those. Like I feel like it'll come down to like what the story is and like stuff like that. So I feel like you can still have like your grounded, gritty, realistic one, but still feel quite different with a different actor or just completely different storyline and how he acts and stuff.
Yeah. I guess my point is, or no, not even a point. It's just more like, since we have seen so many incarnations of these characters in Batman as well, it's kind of hard to think outside of the box when there's so much has been done that it kind of like, if you do think of something, you're like, oh, that's kind of been done already. That's blah 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 blah. So
yeah,
guess that's why you pay the big bucks for the concept artists, and they just do it all.
Mm-hmm.
So is it like just what's the mood of the show? Is it just
it's very similar to, gritty underworld kind of. It's basically Penguin isn't necessarily the head honcho, the head kingpin yet, so he's working his way up there. That's it. He's working his way up to the top. So I was like, okay, it's
I heard it's good.
Yeah.
No, it's great.
I've been hearing good things.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out. Yeah. That's our
thoughts.
John Wick and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 penguins.
So the penguins. Why? It makes me wonder now. I guess a side topic is why are there so many penguins in media? You think of like there's different animals that like we all gravitate towards in making like movies and TV shows.
Yeah,
I'm saying penguins? Just in general, even like, right?
Yeah, that's like, a good question.
Come up a lot.
I don't know, they're just really cute.
That is a good question. Like, I wonder if it was so. Like Happy Feet kind of the start of the animated ones? Was Madagascar before that?
I feel like before
Madagascar was before, yeah.
I feel like there was even before Madagascar there was
like Pingu. What you got there?
Ooh, wait.
Pingu, yeah.
Kari, here's an idea. Here's a thought. There's a great rule of thumb in character design where trying to make like a silhouette is always key, and making a good silhouette so the character is noticeable. And then also if a 5-year-old can somewhat draw said character and relate to them, it makes it more impactful on kids and everyone because it's much more noticeable and more easy to get attached to. And so penguins are kind of easy to draw. That could be something where you're just kind of like, oh, it's a cute character.
Yeah,
and it's where's the Madagascar penguins? Where do they put them?
I don't think you brought them here.
Oh, we deleted them. Okay, whatever.
They were in there.
Oh, really?
They were.
Oh,
yeah.
There he is. Oh no, it's Pingu.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, they're just.
Oh, you might be at your limit.
Anyways,
but
yeah.
I can see that. Like that. Silhouette, easy to draw. Everyone's inspired by it.
Yeah.
You're sketching ideas, and the penguin just pops up on your paper, and you're like, oh, let's make this a movie.
Yeah.
Give him Happy Feet. Do you like Happy Feet, Kolton? Is that like one of your favorite movies?
Yeah, totally.
Good. I'm glad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it had Robin Williams in it. He's great.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Why are you not a fan of Happy Feet?
No, it was good. It was fine. I was
just curious. Yeah,
I watched it for my birthday.
Happy Feet.
I had a Happy Feet birthday party, and I had all the little plates.
Did you ever Did you have the birthday party at the movie theaters?
It was at our house.
Oh, okay.
Then we went to the movie.
I was always jealous of kids who got to have their birthdays at the Cineplex or whatever.
I remember seeing those too and being like, "Whoa, that's awesome."
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, did the same thing as Kari. I would just have people over and then we'd go see the movie or vice versa.
Yeah.
I mean, were they? I guess maybe my Cineplex have fun, cool things to do. It just like a room or something.
It was just a room. At least in our Cineplex, it was literally just a room with a glass wall and a table and maybe a screen. There was an arcade in the theater too, but that didn't have anything to do with the birthday.
Yeah,
but yeah, it was literally just a room that you could host a little party in.
I remember going to Chuck E. Cheese parties.
Oh yeah, I've been to Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah. There were a lot of times where I would go. I think I would hide underneath like the basketball hoops or the basketball games, and a lot of kids would like drop their coins and roll. We would roll under the machine and like to the back of it, and there was always this gap that my friend found. He's like, "Hey," and it's like you shouldn't be behind there because there's all the electrical equipment and shit. Like, hey, we found some coins back there. They should go get some. So we all just were crawling behind all the fucking games. It was really fun.
That sounds disgusting.
Yeah. Oh yeah, then we come back. Yeah.
I think I've done that too.
Let's
but
go.
Just like on my own, just like noticing like, oh.
Was this like
So
last week though for
it
you?
sounds
Corey?
like yeah, this is what I do on the weekends. There's a local arcade. There's actually a big arcade here.
Oh, really?
Relatively big,
really?
I should say.
That's cool.
Yeah. No, yeah, Chuck E. Cheese was crazy. The tiny slice of
Was
pizza,
crazy.
super thin.
Yeah. That's one thing
Super
as like
thin
a
pizza.
kid, you're like, this place is awesome. But like as soon as you're like even like a teenager, you're like, that place is probably disgusting. Like I would never want to touch anything in there.
I never went to the ball pit again because I had a moment where I made contact with some substances in there. I didn't even know what it was, but it was wet, and that was I
gross.
never went
That
in
would
again.
do
Like
it.
even when I went back to Chuck E. Cheese, I just never ball pitted. I
They
learned
had
that
a ball
lesson
pit
early.
in a Chuck E. Cheese. Oh wow.
Yeah, they had like you remember like did you guys have like you know those like crawl spaces you can climb?
Mhm.
It's like those hamster you can go through.
Yeah.
That would like lead down into a ball pit for us.
I've had those,
Um,
but it was called Let's Play. They never had like an actual gymnasium or like a little, ball pit area in a Chuck E. Cheese that we had.
Mm.
So
Really?
I can't
Yeah.
remember if
I guess I always think of
ball pit.
ball pits. So you guys are just games then, mostly.
Yeah, there was like the big. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure there was a ball pit, the one I went, because it was like all like the stuff you're talking, like the hamster stuff, like the tubes and like the
Yeah.
netting that you would crawl through and stuff. Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, what happens
Good
if your kid just passes out up in there? How do you even know?
Wait for
Remember.
a kid to scream.
Yeah.
Mommy, Billy passed out. Billy's sleeping.
I actually remember
Right,
getting. It just reminds me of a memory now where I was like 5 years old in the McDonald's those play gymnasiums.
The play
I remember
palace,
I was
think
like,
it's called.
yeah, the play palaces. And there's like the domes where you can see outside into like the eating
bubbles.
area. And I saw my mom
Yeah,
down
yeah.
there. And these kids were blocking me from like exiting. I don't know, because they're being, dumb kids or whatever. And I was panicking, so I was like, I can't get out. So just like slamming on the fucking thing to like, get my mom's attention. It was, yeah. And I think they
Traumatic
just
for you?
moved.
Wait, you moved?
Those are the days.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Child.
Oh boy.
Do you guys do like?
Yeah, yeah.
I was gonna say, you guys do like Dave and Buster's or like those?
We didn't have.
You
we
guys
don't ha-
became like,
I don't think we have a Dave and Buster's. What is a Dave and
So
Buster's?
yeah, what is a David Buster's? Yeah.
That's
or
a.
like a GameWorks or they just have. It's just
Oh,
they have pool. They have
Yeah.
games.
we
It's
had.
it's kind of like an arcade.
We went. We like out. Did you ever go to Castle Fun Park, Colton?
Yeah.
Castle. I think that's kind of the closest thing we would have out here, Kari. It's like a big. It looked like kind of like a
That sounds
castle from
familiar.
outside, but it was like.
I did go to Castle Fun Park.
Oh, did you? Yeah, some mini go karts. There was some mini golf.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like that, but way
Okay.
like more, a little bit more older people friendly. I think,
Okay.
because they had like a whole section with like a bar.
Oh, gotcha.
And it
That
wasn't
sounds even
like-
better.
Yeah. So it wasn't always just kids running around. I think Castle Fun Park was more for kids, right?
Yeah, there was no. Not that I know of. There was no drinks.
Not
I
like
don't think.
for kids, but like there was like
It
yeah, it was
wasn't
just like-
for adults.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys should look up Dave and Buster's. We'll have to do that for me.
Yeah, I've definitely I've heard of Dave and Buster's and seen it in like shows and stuff, but I don't think there's any in Canada, at least not in BC.
Hmm.
Yeah, if you ever do
Fair
a trip in the States, we could hit up Dave and Buster's. Get some Chuck E.
You know,
Cheese
we.
pizza.
Yeah, I'll go crawl behind some machines to
You
get some
got their
coins.
Smash tournaments too.
You know what we should do? I was watching a lot of arcades in Japan, and there's some that like stay up. These buildings are just dedicated to like arcade games, and then you have like indoor. I want to say, was it baseball, and then like actual gymnastic, like a little gymnasium where you can just play around and goof around, and it's open to like 2 a.m., 4 a.m. Like, damn, I kind of want that.
You know how fast we would all get injured in anywhere with is there a trampoline in there? I guarantee you one of us is breaking a bone in Japan.
Ooh, actually, you know what? Let's check.
I kind of want to do that. I definitely would do that, even if I had the risk.
Oh,
I'm not saying I
Does
wouldn't do
everyone
it.
get their travel,
Get the
your
travel
insurance?
insurance.
You'll be
Yeah.
fine.
And
Yeah.
then just go for it. Yeah. One
Okay,
day.
Man, we can. We gotta actually. We keep talking about this for like 8 years now.
It's been a
This
while.
trip.
Okay, I know we
Yeah.
actually have the podcast on right now, but I'm actually gonna send a short of
I
certain
swear,
stuff
I don't
there.
want to like. I don't want like magic balls to be invented, and I look into it, and it's like your first trip to Japan. It's just like all four of us there, and we're like 58 years old. Like I don't
Ah,
want that.
What's the weather like in Japan in like November?
supposedly it's nice. It's like cute in
Supposedly.
fall and
So maybe like spring
Like,
2026
I
is
can
maybe
go for that. Yeah, it's not. Yeah,
that's enough time
something.
to put some money away, go
It'll
for a
be
good
at the.
trip.
Yeah,
Maybe
exactly.
if we set a date and we all start planning things for it, maybe we can talk somebody else into going. If we're,
Yep, certain another person.
we should pick a date and then start planning stuff, and then we'll
Can we even
Yeah.
just like book something? Like we can even just like book get like a hotel or a flight or something. Not a
something.
flight, but
Yeah.
like a hotel. And just
you want
it's
to book a
there.
hotel so 2 years in advance.
Just
Is it
something
set
so
2 years?
Or
Yeah, it's
we're,
like
if we're doing
it's like
next
a year and a half. Year and a
2020.
half.
Yeah,
Oh, boy.
you could book that.
Yeah,
Especially if like
that would be
we
good for
can
us. I think. I think that's well, we booked
would
it,
be
so
good.
we're
Exactly. And also it could if there's like an event that's happening around then,
that'd be
like
fun.
we can look into what's going on.
Yeah.
Um
Yeah,
but yeah,
we should start a
off podcast discussion.
yeah. We'll start a thread too of things we want to check out there too. One day we'll go to Japan.
Cool.
Maybe we'll do an episode from Japan.
For all of our
That would be
listeners,
actually really cool.
Colton
you're not
will make a vlog
alone
for
with
us.
friend groups when you can't make plans. It's all good.
Yes, we've been trying to go to Japan for
3 years.
more. I think it's been
4
more.
or 5 years,
4 or 5
probably.
years. Yeah.
Dude, the yen this
Yeah.
year, the yen has been the cheapest. Like anyways.
That's another thing. We should get some yen.
No, that's another reason. Yeah, we can
Yeah.
get in on it. Yeah.
Oh boy. Oh boy. All right.
Oh jeez.
Oh,
Oh,
jeez,
jeez.
Ricks. I've been recently finishing up a 3D printed sword. There's a lot of things I learned actually that I think could be useful. If you're ever 3D printing stuff, because I'm making it for one of my friends. He has an art show coming up, and it's a 7-foot sword. And I learned a lot of things where if you want to increase the well, for one, if you're building something that tall, you should use dowels. For people who have the Bamboo 3D printer, definitely use the dowel procedure or Boolean, where you can kind of you'll have more strength on two sides of separate 3D printed parts because there'll be a hole in one end and there's a hole in one end, and you just have like a little rod basically going between the two. And that's like the strongest you could possibly do. And I was really dumb thinking that, oh, I can just have the 3D printed parts, but have the rods attached to one model, and the other one would just have holes. And every time that I would try to put them together, like attach them, they would just be a little bit too snug to the point that they would start just snapping off the one part. So that's my dumb 3D printing experience. And
Man,
yeah.
that's a lot to worry about. Every time I think of 3D printing and getting into it, I keep forgetting about all the little
Yeah.
little annoyances.
Well, also you probably won't be 3D
tips.
printing a 7-foot sword.
Yeah. Actually, I could bring it.
Sure.
1 second. I'll showcase it.
You're gonna bring it to Japan? Oh,
Oh.
right here.
I just looked up what a dowel is because I wanted to. It just all the pictures are just.
Educate us.
It's do you know those little like wooden nubs you get with IKEA furniture that stick things together? Those little just the
Oh,
wooden
yeah,
sticks that you gotta hammer in and hurt your hands. I guess that's a dowel.
Cool. Now I know something.
You know, yeah, I put it up for the visual learners. Oh boy.
Oh wow, there's some huge 3D printers up there. I mean, I knew that, but
What is the
they're only
biggest
like
3D printer?
$5,000. There's one that's the size of a person that's $5,000 I'm looking at,
Huh.
which I thought would be
Oh wow.
aren't like $5,000 ones like super tiny. So like
Yeah,
Kinda
I
cool.
don't know. Yeah, are you looking at the the Tronxy Viho.
I am.
Yeah, look at that. They got a little guy with a little rocket ship.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that is big. Yeah,
I
3D.
guess. Yeah. We should. Kolton should just get one of these.
Yeah.
Print his whole story on it.
3D printing's been one thing that I'm always like, when Kolton talks about it or Calvin talks about setting his up or whatever, I'm like, that would be cool. Or I'll look up 3D printed things. Like, maybe I should get one of these. And then I'm like, I do not need a 3D printer. I will print maybe something when I get it, and then it's gonna sit there. It's gonna sit there.
Yep.
Right,
so I'm still
got?
sanding it, but we got this is like the hilt.
Thing.
Oh my goodness.
So this is just the hilt, and then it's the blade itself is gonna slide right in. Nice. So this is the base, and it'll go like that.
Nice and defocused. Perfect.
Hell yeah.
That's how long is it taking you to print that?
I would say because there's a lot of trial and error for sure. And yeah, what I was mentioning, took me a couple attempts. I'd say this was my third attempt, and everything probably took at least a day and a bit or actually 2 days to print. Oh, wow. So I'd say like 6 days of printing, and then assembly has been like 2 days. So yeah.
Damn.
And at least another day of sanding. So what was that? So at least like a week and a half, let's say.
Not bad. Not bad. Little fun little project for our unemployed boy.
You gotta keep yourself busy, huh?
That you do.
Oh, boy.
Well, we'll have to see. You can show it off next week when it's all done on the next episode.
Hell yeah.
We will catch you then.
Actually, I won't be here. Sorry. Bye.
We might have a guest. Tune into that. Goodbye.
See ya.